Okay, so today we're looking at divisibility rules. And divisibility rules is actually a pretty important topic. So when we talk about divisibility rules, in primary you learn your times tables, and your times tables are super important at being able to do maths well. But with your divisibility rules, they're something that you should learn to make mathematics easier as you get older, okay? And I've split them up into 3 sections, and this is how I sort of remember them. And we've got all of the digits from 1 through 10, or not 1, but from 2 through 10, excluding 7, okay? And we'll talk about 7 a little bit towards the end. Now, when we talk about a divisibility rule, what it is it's a rule that tells you whether or not a number, so let's have a look at a number. I'm going to write up a number like 972. So if you get a number like that, and I was to ask you, what numbers is 972 divisible by? You would look at that and you'd go, whoa, well that's a tough question. I'm not too sure. I'd need to work it out. But there are certain rules that we can use in order to quickly find out whether we can divide 972 by any of these numbers, okay? We're going to start with 2. So you can divide, and these ones here you will know already. You can divide every even number by 2. So the divisibility rule for 2 is even numbers. So if it ends in an even number, that means we can divide it by 2. So for 972, we can divide 972 by 2. 5. To divide a number by 5, it has to end in 5 or 0. Okay? That's the only rule for 5. If it ends in a 5 or a 0, then we can divide it by 5. Like I said, you're probably pretty well aware of these ones. For 10, the rule is it has to end in a 0. Okay? So it has to end in a 0. If the last digit's a 0, then it has to end. So if we look at these ones with 972, obviously it can't be divided by 5 and it can't be divided by 10. Now 3 and 9 are really similar. Okay? They're really similar and they're really good rules. Basically what we do is we add up the digits. So we add digits and then divide by the number. Now what I mean by that is we add up these digits. So we do 9 plus 7 plus 2, okay, which gives us 18, okay? And then to see whether or not it's divisible by 3, we divide 18 by 3. Now 18 can go into, 3 can go into 18. So that means that 972 is divisible by 2 and 3. Okay, and let's have a look at 9. Can I divide 18 by 9? Yes, I can. So that means that 972 is also divisible by 9. Now, if we have a look at 4 and 6, and 4 and 6 have some different rules associated with them. So the number 6, we're going to start with that one. The number 6, the rule for that, the divisibility rule for 6, is that a number, so 972, needs to be divisible by 2 and 3. So if a number is divisible by 2 and 3, it means that it is also divisible by 6. So that means our number here, 972, is also divisible by 6, okay? So our rule there is it has to be divisible by 2 and 3, okay? Now, 4. 4 is an interesting one. 4 I find the most tedious to do. Basically what the divisibility rule for 4 is that we look at the last 2 digits of a number. So it's handy for really, really long numbers, okay? We look at the last 2 digits. So in this case, it's 72, okay? And we say, is this number divisible by 4, okay? Now, 72 I can divide by 4, all right? It goes in 18 times. 4 goes into 72 18 times. So that means that 972 is divisible by 4, okay? But we look at the last 2 digits. Oops. The last 2 digits divided by 4. Okay? So now they're the divisibility rules for 2, 5, 10, 3, 9, and 4 and 6. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, okay, well what about 7? Now 7 doesn't really have, there are divisibility rules that you can find for 7, and I'd encourage you to go out and try to find one, but there are no straightforward ones. There aren't any straightforward that are as easy as these ones. So they're your divisibility rules. This is a really important part of mathematics, and I would strongly advise you to spend some time. You will know these ones. These ones are easy to learn. This one's easy to learn. Sorry, this one's easy to learn, and this one you use sometimes. It'll make simplifying fractions a whole lot easier for you once we get into that. So good luck.